Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday night testimonial call. My name is Cynthia Sauer. I've been with Lifewave for 2 years, and I am currently a presidential director with Lifewave. And the last 2 years have been meaningful, exciting, and very, very rewarding. So we are so happy and blessed to have this evening Dr. Campanella. Hi, Nick. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Dr. Campanella is a very well-respected chiropractor in the Maryland area. And not only do we have him this evening, giving his testimony on LifeWave as a doctor, but he's also going to be talking about his own personal experience. So we have some more people coming in here. So welcome, welcome. Before we get started, I do want to give the disclaimer because when we talk about testimonials, we really need to give that. So Chris, can you throw the disclaimer up? All right. So the LifeWave patches are not intended to diagnose, prevent, cure, treat any disease or medical condition. So we can get that out of the way. Okay. Well, Dr. Campanella, it's a busy Tuesday. Tell us a little bit about your background and what actually drew you into the arena of health and wellness. Let's start there.
Okay. Well, been a chiropractor since 1989. Doing my thing for all those years, getting into nutritional supplements and herbal supplements and all those things that were really effective with my patients and myself. But what I had noticed around 60 years old, I really started noticing my health, even though I was, doing everything I could with an integrative doctor and doing all the nutritional support that I could come up with. I was still not where I really wanted to be. And I was really starting to consider maybe it's time to consider, an early retirement because I just didn't feel I had the energy. I was in a lot of pain. My congestive heart failure was still not really where I wanted it to be. So there were a lot of factors. And I got a call one day from Terry Beatley, who we all know. And Terry was telling me about these patches, and I was like, I don't think so. Not really interested. Don't think that could do anything for me.
So what year was that, Doc?
That was in 2023. I was 62. And again, I was thinking, this may be my last year practicing. And Terry's like, Nick, you got to try this. You really got to try it. It's really different. I've never experienced anything like this. I'm like, okay, after a few phone calls, I finally decided, all right, I'll give it a try. I'll get some Icewave for my patients and, we'll see where it goes. And that's how I got started. No expectations, no testimonials did I hear. I mean, I went in completely blind, right?
Just on the basis of your relationship with Terry Beatley.
Just on a relationship with Terry, I was like, all right, I'm willing to try it. Fork over $300 and see what happens.
So it's kind of interesting because Terry also called me and it was the same way. And maybe if you're a guest here tonight, somebody you know, love, and trusted called you up and said, get on this call. And if you're listening to the recording, we just want you to know your friend has your back. Because the way that Dr. Nick and I heard about the patch was through Terry Beatley, and she was just very forthcoming. They had been helping her. I think she had been wearing them already like 6 months, and she ran out of patches and realized that they were really helping. So she called me, and then she called Dr. Nick. We were the first two people that Terry actually, I think, shared the patches with. And so, having said that, once you got the box, what was your first experience with the patch? Were you just wearing them? Were you and Diana wearing them together? What
Yeah.
happened?
So we got them on Friday, and I did see. I started looking into LifeWave at that point. I'm like, I ordered them. I should at least investigate. So I went online. I saw pictures of women before and after pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, that can't be true. But if it is true, we'll find out if we take pictures. So that Friday night, before we started wearing X39, I got Diana, took a picture, took a few photos, and like, okay, we'll see what happens. Monday morning, go into the office. start patching people with Icewave. Let's try this out. It's supposed to work. And I was batting 1,000. I mean,
What were you telling your patient? Like,
I was like,
hey,
hey,
want to try this on you?
I try this on you. I just got these in, and they're supposed to be really good with pain, and and these people, all my Medicare, Monday morning's Medicare morning, right? And and I've had them for years and years. If they're going to feel something, we're going to be honest with each other. And every single one was like, what is this? Like, what do you, my pain is gone. I mean, these
So
are
were they
people that
making a believer out of you?
what's that?
Were they making a believer out of you? Like, what were
Oh
you
yeah, I
saying?
was floored. By Monday night, I was like, all right, that's it. Lifewave is here to stay. We will always use these patches because this makes no sense that people
Okay.
getting up, leaving the office better than they ever had. So that made me a believer. By Friday afternoon, when Diane and I went to lunch, I could already see that the swelling in her eyes had gone down without taking another picture. I was like, that's it. I kept saying it over and over. There is no end to Lifewave. This will go on forever. And
Wow.
I still believe that today.
And so what stood out to you as a doctor was the immediate relief of pain? Like how did you
Immediate. I mean,
immediate?
immediate. It was immediate.
Okay.
Then I had a woman that same week, my first week doing this. She had a rash from something that she had taken during the COVID period. And she had these blotches all over her body. And her daughter-in-law was with her, and she's like, we've tried everything. Doctors don't know what this is. Put a patch of X39 on her. One day, after 2 years of dealing with this skin eruption, she was all better. So I was like, okay, we got to figure out how we're going to do this. And that's
That's
when
awesome.
wheels started really spinning. Yep.
So now let's take you from the first week of your patients making you go, wait a minute, because I had a similar experience too. When I ordered my patches, I had patched a stranger at the behesting of another person who was a friend, and this was a friend of that friend. And she was like, "Could you patch this woman?" And I was like, "Okay." It was my patches, right? And I went and patched her, and we kept named diseases, but also excruciating pain of something that's downstream from the chickenpox, if you know what I mean. And immediate relief. And I was just holding the patch. So this is what the patch looks like, folks. For those of you that are new, it's about a quarter size. It's got little stickies on the back. You just take them off. And this is how simple this is, okay? And you would just stick it on your body. So I put it here so that you can see it. It's just that simple. And it's working right now, resetting 1/3 of my genes. But when I put the patches on this woman, I literally, she was like, "You're a miracle worker." And I was like, uh, what did Terry give us? I just felt like so humbled. And I'm sure, you can relate to that where you're just sort of going off of, well, I hope this works. So fast forward to your own experience. So what's been happening in the life of Dr. Nicholas Campanella for
Well,
2 years on the patches?
well, again, I had no expectations for myself because, you just don't believe that anything is going to change you that much that you're going to notice it. Well, we started in February of 2023, and I had a really bad shoulder at that point, and that was one of the reasons I was, thinking I don't know how much longer I could do this. Anyway, my shoulder started feeling better, wearing the Icewave and X39, and that was really where I was focusing, not
Mhm.
thinking of other things at all. I mean, I was like, hey, if this shoulder gets better, I am really, really happy. But
Mhm.
then May came. In the month of May, my hay fever kicks up. And I've had really bad hay fever for 50 years. And middle of May is usually when I really start going downhill, and I'm tired all the time, and my nose is running, and my eyes are itchy, and my ears are, itchy, and everything's itchy. Well, Memorial Day came, and I still had no symptoms. And Diana's like, do you real? I didn't even realize this. She said, do you realize that you haven't had any hay fever this year? And I'm like, well, maybe it's still early. I don't know. Maybe the season's late. She's like, okay, maybe. By the end of June, I realized that my immune system had changed. I no longer suffered with severe seasonal allergies. I mean, if I cut the grass or, whatever, yeah, you get a little, a little wet nose, whatever, runny nose, right? But other than that, my allergies every year now have been amazing. Like I have none. Like that to me was amazing because nobody knows how bad I was. And, I had to take a lot of stuff just to keep it under control. That blew me away. So that's when my belief system really started going, when I noticed that I had no longer this horrible problem in the month of May and June. Then I started feeling my knee started getting better. And I never thought my knee was ever going to get better. And
so what was wrong with your knee? Explain that.
I don't even know. I tore something under the kneecap, probably a ligament, and it was just burning for like 18 months. And then with for like 3 years. But after 18 months on Lifewave, it just completely disappeared, never came back. That was amazing. My skin, age spots disappearing, cysts disappearing, hair growing back. But the finale was not even a year ago, when Diana noticed that my legs weren't swelling anymore. And she's like, do you know your legs aren't swollen? Because we had been busy all day. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. They look pretty good. And then the next day, she's like, your legs still aren't swelling. And I'm like, you're right. So she's like, I don't know, your hair on your legs are growing back. They're like, your legs look really different. So with congestive heart failure, those are the signs, right? It's swollen legs, loss of hair, poor circulation, swollen feet, ankles, the whole bit. Well, I stopped wearing compression socks, and I'm like, this is crazy. For 14 years, I've been suffering with all these symptoms of congestive heart failure after I had a second heart attack in 2011. So here, 14 years go by. I go to my cardiologist this June, and the cardiologist walks in, looks at me. He's like, hey, are you on an eternal vacation? You look great. And he's like, in looking at all your reports, he goes, I don't know how to tell you this. He goes, but I don't think you need to come anymore. He's like, you could probably just stick with your own doctor. You're doing amazing. He goes, what is this? What is this about stem cells? Because I had told the fellow who had seen me first. And he's like, you got to send me some information about that. So, yeah.
So you were dismissed from your cardiac.
A cardiologist. How many people get dismissed from a cardiologist?
It's wonderful.
It was amazing. I had tears in my eyes. It was so amazing.
We interviewed a man a couple of weeks ago who also had tears in his eyes, police officer. I mean, seeing grown men cry should be one of the, one of the things that you're telling people, these patches will make a grown man cry for their health. One of our viewers just typed into the chat, I think it might have been Gary, but he gave a little shout out to Diana and said that you're a lucky man because your wife really notices you. So I thought that was kind of cute. She's watching you all the time, your legs, your hair, all these things. Okay. So what I would like to do now, because we have just probably about another 10 minutes that we can be talking here. Would you mind to share with us about anyone close to you that's also had a result with the patch? I mean, your wife, or I know you have a grandson, however you want to take it.
Yeah.
It hasn't been just Dr. Campanella.
No. So this is not just for me. This is not for my wife, just for my wife or my patients, but this is for everybody, right? So we have a grandson who was very severe on the spectrum. And my daughter had done everything she could for him. I mean, honestly, she went to heaven and hell to help this kid. and he had done a little bit better. But then after our daughter started seeing us getting better, because she at the beginning, she's like, I really don't think so. She goes, I never heard of it. You know, the same excuse
Right.
everybody has. And then about 4 months after Diane and I were using the patches, she said, do you think this could help Ari, her son, with autism? And I said, well, it can't hurt. Um, put the patch on him. And within one day, he asked her, he said, Mom, why am I wearing this? And she said, why? What do you notice? And he said, my brain, it's not swishing in my head anymore. And she's like, what? And he had never described anything like that before. And he said, yeah, it's like quiet now.
Aw.
Wow, that got us really excited. And his progress has been absolutely amazing.
Wow.
We don't do this for us. Let's do this for the kids. Because let me tell you something. I was with them yesterday. If I didn't know he was on the spectrum, I don't think I would have caught it if I had just met him yesterday. Okay. He is now playing soccer on in a regular league. Before, this kid couldn't even lift a 5-pound bag of potatoes.
Wow.
It's absolutely amazing what has happened with that child. And that's why we're going to pursue this, is because we know there's just gazillions of kids in this situation. And I don't know what else is going to help them.
So that kind of leads me to my next question. Like, when did you start realizing I just actually have to share this more intentionally, not just in the practice, but with other people? Was it when your grandson, was that the aha moment of like, we need to be really paying attention here?
Oh yeah, that was the aha.
Combination.
Right, that was before me finding out that my heart's doing better. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that was the moment. There's no question. It was Father's Day, and everybody was over the house, and he's out there running, playing with the kids. He never ran and played with kids before. He was always by himself, never like joining in. And our son said, who's that? Who's that new kid? Like, he couldn't get over his nephew's change, because they hadn't, it was only a few months. I mean, April till June, it was like, what, 2 months later, this kid was a different kid. It was just amazing. So that was the moment I said, you know what? We got to do this business. Okay. Yes. Should I continue being a chiropractor? Yes, I help a lot of people, but we've also got to do this too. It landed in our laps, and you get a gift, you got to pass it on, right?
That's right.
You don't get blessed unless you bless. So,
Right.
this is how it works. And I will tell anyone out there, give this a try for your child, for anybody who's dealing with anything. I don't even know where to begin, what I've seen in the last 3 years.
I have people all the time that'll say like, well, it worked for this, well, it worked for that. But I'm like, you know what? Slap it on and you tell us, because we just don't know where it's gonna go.
You have no idea. You have no real expectation, right? I mean, you just right, just try it. I tell people, try it for 2 years. I don't even say 3 months now. I say try it for 2 years. It's a small investment, and after 2 years, I think you're going to be quite impressed.
It does keep getting better. In addition, I wanted to go back to your grandson. I remember actually hearing about this early on when we were first involved. And the interesting thing is that Liana actually took the time painstakingly to write all this out. And I also I'm a special ed teacher, and have dealt with a lot with children that have sensory issues. So, for me, it's like I can pick them out of a crowd. And one of the things that your grandson said, which really stuck in my heart, was that she had asked him, we want to share what's happening to you, because he's a little bit older, and we wanted your permission. Is it okay if we share with other people? And they started telling him the changes that they noticed. And then he said, yeah, and you forgot this one thing. And he told his mom I don't know if you remember this or not. He said, I can even forgive my enemies now.
Hmm.
And I think, when you're talking with children about how, sometimes they really get stuck on their opinions or they're strong, it's got to be this way, the OCD they're hanging on, But that really touched me because if you can let go, right, and forgive your enemies, the world's going to be a better place in your household. And also, even in your learning experience, just imagine the children that we could help to take the pressure off of them, to not just hang on to everything so tightly,
If you remember in that testimonial, he also mentioned that he wanted it, he always was aware of what he wanted to tell his parents or anyone,
Hmm.
but he said, I just couldn't get it out. I
Yeah,
just didn't know how to get it out, and now I do.
the pathways were blocked.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So
Like,
precious.
this kid now is able to express himself, where
That's
before he
wonderful.
had no way of doing it.
And all that development that's happening at his age. So,
Oh, and his structure is different. His strength is incredible. His speed, everything. He's a totally new child.
yeah, his
Totally.
foot size grew like
His
what's
foot size grew like
a whole two
like
sizes or one
yeah.
size? He wore flip-flops for the
We
first time.
now he's walking on his feet. Before he had, the walk with the on
Tiptoe.
toes, tiptoe. Completely different kid.
Wow, it's really great. Well, we're so
Yeah.
happy for you,
So that
Dr.
was our moment where we decided we had to move on with this.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
So I do want to thank you for sharing your very powerful story about yourself and your grandson, and your experience with these patches really shows us that sometimes solutions can be the most natural thing, and this solution is a phototherapy patch. It's using light to activate the GHK copper peptide. Although it's very natural, we wouldn't have it or know about it without the genius of David Schmidt. So we're very grateful for him. If you're listening and you're curious about Lifewave, get back with the person that invited you here, that shared this, video with you, because we're recording it and we're going to be able to send it out to you. And Dr. Campanella, I want to thank you for your time and your testimony. And
Sure.
then before,
Wait, I want you to share a little bit about what you thought of the new X2O machine.
okay, well, the X2O, yeah, before we go, I can do that real briefly. So David's created a new, well,
Light therapy.
light therapy, light infused water. And so, although we just lead with X39, the X2O water machine has arrived at 374 Beaver Lane. So we're using, and this will be our fourth day. Chris and I are both drinking. It makes what, 4 cups. So, two each, 16 ounces each. And here's the little thing here. But I will honestly tell you that with my challenges, you know, on the very first day, I did notice some very special things. And, in medicine or in science, they'll say things like it was remarkable, that you could remark on it, right? Some remarkable changes. And for me, it was a similar change to the very first time that I wore the patch after 11 days. It was the exact same thing that hit me. And I remember talking to Terry Sunday night. I think it was Sunday night. And that was like the second day I had taken, and even yesterday. It just keeps building. But the change has been focus. My brain is less inflamed, and I know it because this is what I struggle with. And I feel so happy. And even under a lot of stress, I feel like I can handle more. And even late into the evening, it's what, already 8 o'clock. And after the day has beaten you up, sometimes you're just like, I just want to pull the covers up. I'll be 60. And so I do feel that this water is doing what it says it does. It is healing from a cellular level. We can't really say healing. I mean, I'm just talking off the cuff, but I notice more mental clarity, more mental stamina, mental strength, whatever you want to call it. And for me, that's game changer, because how the brain goes, so goes the rest of your life. It's all about mindset and attitude. And that's all up here. Whatever you're thinking and whatever you're remunerating on is how things are going to go. And so basically the water just pulled me out of whatever's inflaming my brain, either my illness or toxins. We all have them. I feel like it's really doing its job. Probably within 20 minutes after taking the water, I really do need to use the ladies' room. And I don't know about Chris, but he had been saying too, yeah, I really need to go to the bathroom a lot. It's just pushing fluids out of us. So we must
Hmm.
be definitely getting more hydrated. But we'll let you know how it goes. It's so far 4 days has been great for me. I feel just energized and happy. And Terry too had some great experiences with it. She hasn't really told yet, but maybe we could do a little, when we get on our calls where they're not going to be recorded and all out there, but we can share, on the inner team what's really happening. So,
Great.
yeah.
Awesome.
So, I'm going to sign off. I see Gina Bender there and Teresa and Linda and everybody's here. We're going to be meeting again next Tuesday. And so we look forward to seeing you there. And tonight at 8:15, I'll be back here to do the man behind the patch. So if you have any friends that you want to go grab to find out either new partners or first time people who want to hear more about who this man is who has invented the stem cell patch, then go get them. And I'll see you back here in about 15 minutes.
All right.
Thanks so much, Dr. Nick. God bless you.
Bless you too. Good
Uh-huh.
night.
Good night.